Okay, I thank you people for hanging in. If you hung in this long, this stuff is, it really slows down when I'm trying to learn it myself. I apologize for that. It's just that my wife's out at the church, and it's just I can't pass up this opportunity to do a guitar lesson. So, guess what? We already had the D there, so I was onto it already. So there's one thing to remember. If you want to remember something easy about playing the open position D, you got two things to realize: the S3XL, and then from there you're going to go into a fourth D shape. Now that D, that purple D, look at this. Here's our modal scale for the key of A. Okay, so the key of A, it's the modal scale. It'd be A shaped root, C minor shaped D minor, D minor shaped E minor, D shaped F. So E minor goes to F. Okay, remember that's tuned off. So that's one thing we're going to use, and so we'll see more of this stuff in the future. Using a chord, because we've got the warp right here. Why let it trip us up any more than it has? Let's just use chord shapes on the top here. The bottom seems to be easy enough. Let's look at the bottom of the E shape. The bottom of the E shape starts on the top 2/3 of an S3XL. Then we go into an easy E shape string shape, 7 root 2. Now we have a 3/4 here. Okay, what happened with the 3/4? Well, let's look for a familiar chord somewhere here. So we've got our 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is going back into an X3XL, so that's easy. So the only thing we have to explain right here is this 3/4. And it looks to me, if I'm not mistaken, that this root 4/6 is going to be the important chord for placing this scale fragment here. So remember, if it's a half step difference like this, and all these differences seem to be a half step, at least in the E and the A, there's a 3/4 and then there's a 7 root there. The D, D's a little different. Okay, what we've got in the D shape, I didn't outline it on this particular one, but we've got two sunken notes that have to be played over here, and these become, so we've got a D shape on the bottom and then an S3XL bottom 2/3. This is the only one that's weird, this 4 and 5 here. So the 5, you can look at that as a 2-5-7, and you can characterize this as a an A-shaped 5, and there it is. There's your A-shaped 5. So this is it. This is the bell ringer for this guy right here. Just A-shaped 5 right there. Boom. Maybe you'll see that. Maybe I'll change the chart to be like that. So this is what's going to help us right here. Okay? Aside from the powers that be. So looking at the D shape, we'll start it on the 2 here. It'd be like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, then I guess root 2, 3. So this is the top 2/3 of the bottom 2/3 of an S3XL. 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3. But we're not going to go into the 4, 5, 6. We have the 4 and the 5. But here we got our A shape. Now remember, D shape is the shape of the pattern we're trying to play. And then here's your A7. And the shape of the fourth is a G-shaped fourth there. That's not helping us much. It looks like we're having trouble with this A shape. Now let's just move it out of the way for a second. You know, we've got to find a way to maybe, you know, exemplify this. We could put it like over here or something so it's not getting in the way too much. So placement of labels, that's our A shape right there. That's going to pretty much be our humdinger for this thing. So it's like, and you can just stop and do a little thing in A. And then continue on. Now that's 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4. That's very interesting. We've got a defining shape on the top, 2, 3, 4, but where's that G shape come from? 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4. If we look over in our pattern stacks, where's that in our pattern stack? 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4. That's the top of an S4L there. Okay, so we're in the D box there. That's the top of an S4L. Here's the bottom, but it's imaginary. 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's another way you can look at it. Look at it as, oh, don't play that note, and I'm just going to play the pattern coming in, no string, no play there. But that's kind of difficult to do. So this whole lesson is trying to be about using chord shapes to help us deal with the way that the scale fragments appear in the half positions of A, G, E, and G. So here's G. Let's look at G. G's an easy one because there's only one note to deal with. So we could just play a regular G pattern here. Here's an S4L. Bop, 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 bop. 5, 6. Okay, starting an S5L here. Not an S4L, S5L. And then we don't play that 7, we play it over here. Instead of the 5, 6, we're going to go 5, 6, 7. And then just pick up the warped top of the S5L right here. So it's going to be 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a G shape on top. So that's not a bad way to look at the G shape. Okay, so where's our G shape here? I'm going to start on the note that's labeled 6. It doesn't mean the pitch is going to come out like that. So it's... Now instead of going... Because remember, there'll be the fret nut here, right? It's drawn right there. The fret nut's there. We can't get that 7. We can't do this. That's the 7. We can't get it. We have to add it to the note before. So, you know, on guitar we've got right there. Now, one way you can look at it is this: I'm going to play both notes. I'm going to play both of them. So G is easy. You could just consider this a modified S5L. If I write it here, it would say modified S5L. We're going to move the 7. But when you get into the D pattern, now we have to move 2 of them. That's where it starts to get a little difficult, you know, because you would lose sight of the pattern itself that we first started with. So we find a different way to do it. We find an A-shaped 5th there, and we can play that a little bit, play around with that, and it should sound pretty good. Alright, so that's the end of today's lesson. It's been a good lesson. It's kind of a tough subject. We'll be trying to make it easier for you.